Hi, you wanna come sit with me? You wanna come sit? Yeah, me versus a 75-pound dog. Who will win? Do you have room to lie down? Okay, yeah. Good job. Please don't lick. I try to lick my sparkling water can. Unbelievable. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. We're doing another monthly reading wrap-up. This time we're doing October and November though. I had a lot of themed content in October and November, so I wanted to focus on that and not try and fit in one of these videos when it was kind of superfluous. And also, I only read 2 books in October, so there wouldn't have been much of a roundup. So if you're new here, hi, welcome, happy to have you. But if you're not, you know the drill. Gonna talk about all the books I read and I'm gonna rank them. I read 6 books over the last 2 months. There were some good ones in there. There were also some really annoying ones. So mixed bag, but you know, that's okay. A couple of notes before we start. I read 4 of these books in November and I did a weekly vlog throughout all of November, and I did talk about the books I read a little bit. So if you're interested in more than what's here, go to the NaNoWriMo 2025 playlist and watch those videos. If you don't care, that's perfectly fine. You'll get the gist here. And then second, almost every single one of these books has some pretty serious trigger warnings. So if you think you might want to read them, please look up the trigger warnings. Fable, if you're on Fable, they have pretty decent, like a trigger warning feature. Also, apps like Storygraph. Goodreads isn't super good at it, but those are 2 key places you can go. My dog is lying on my arm, so I guess I'm just stuck here now. You're the one who chose to lie down here. Stop complaining. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Number 6 on the list. Last book, my least favorite. Bit of a contentious spot, but it ended up going to Wicked by Gregory Maguire. I rated this 2 stars. I rarely rank a book less than 3 stars. Usually my criteria for ranking a book 3 stars is like there are some good parts in it, but it wasn't for me, is usually where I go, because I feel bad. I don't want to give a book a super bad rating when I know that it has a reader out there. This book had like maybe 1 or 2 good things in it, and the rest of it infuriated me. I was so angry reading this book. I'm assuming that you know what it's about because it is pretty, you know, The Wicked for Good 2, Part 2 just came out, so I'm sure it's on your radar somewhat. It's just the backstory to the Wicked Witch of the West. I don't know, it felt to me like Gregory Maguire wanted to do world building or philosophizing or like thought experiments. He didn't want to write a novel. The plot is all over the place, and it just doesn't really make sense. It doesn't feel clean and it doesn't feel edited. And compared to the musical and the movie, which is incredible, taking all these little pieces he created and making them make sense, it's so obvious how rough it is. And I don't want to spoil it, so I won't give you a lot of the things that pissed me off in the later sections of the book. This is from part 1. This is from Elphaba's birth. In the musical, we know that she is green because her mother cheated on her father. In the book, she is green. We don't know why. The nanny character goes to Elphaba's mother and goes, Did you cheat on your husband? And the mother goes, you know, I could have. I'm not sure. I was drunk the whole time. And, you know, it's a small change. Like, it's implied that she cheated, but it's not explicitly stated. Making it explicitly stated is a huge difference, and it's so much clearer to the audience, the cause and effect. It's full of little things like that where things just like don't quite connect, where it's not totally clear what's going on. Which, you know, whatever, if it's that type of book, I don't think that it was handled well. It made me actively angry. So, unless you really, really are into Wicked, the musical, and the movie, don't read this. I found it incredibly difficult to read. I didn't really gain anything from it. I think the only purpose in reading it is to see what what Stephen Schwartz was working with. Like that's really the only reason I read it, and the only reason I would recommend reading it. So, yeah, I give that 2 stars. I hated it so much. Number 5 is Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. Another book that just pissed me off. The only reason it's higher than Wicked is because I get it. I get it. You probably know the plot of Twilight. It's a vampire romance. And, it probably laid a lot of groundwork for what the YA fantasy romance is today. If Bella was a spy, she'd be Flower. That really is my main complaint with the book. And I kind of knew going into it that I wouldn't like it. And I kind of read it as a joke. If you want more of my thoughts while I was reading it, I did a whole TikTok series. It's not in a playlist because I can't put things in a playlist, but it is they're all grouped together. So if you find part 1, you can just scroll. Yeah, I don't think I rated Twilight. I feel like I'm not Twilight's target audience. I don't think you need my input. So, number 4 on the list, we're finally in the last 4 books. These were 4 stars or higher. So, we read some really bad ones, and then we read some really, really good ones. So, Dark Places by Gillian Flynn is number 4. I love Gillian Flynn. I love everything she has written. She is one of my favorite authors. It was still good. The premise of it is basically the main character, Libby, her entire family was massacred when she was very, very young. I forget how old she was. And then as an adult, she kind of gets wrapped up into a true crime sleuthing group that think that the person who was charged with this crime didn't actually do it. And they basically pay her to go and talk to people involved in the case. It was very good. It did get me. I had some theories. They were pretty much wrong. So it did a good job of what I like in a thriller, where it's a lot of pieces that are mentioned in enough detail that they're memorable, and you're like, why was that included? And then it all comes together and connects at the end. Was a very good thriller. Because I've read all her other books, and I think that she's an incredible author, I think this is the weakest of the 3 of them. There just wasn't some of the dysfunction among the main characters that I was missing. If you've read Gone Girl, or even, I haven't seen the movie for Gone Girl, I'm sure because she was, the screenwriter, I'm sure it captured that dissonance between all the players, and that every single person in that is horrible. There just wasn't the dysfunction and just deeply disturbed main character that never got resolved. It could have gone even more off the rails than it did, and I was kind of hoping it would, and it didn't. It was still good, and I would still recommend it if you like thriller. Even if you don't like thriller, it was still a very good one, but it wasn't my favorite. I think I rated this one 4 stars. So number 3 on the list is The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters. This book I think it's historical fiction, but it gave more literary fiction to me, personally. There's this family, and one year as they're working in Maine, as they're picking berries, this is a seasonal job that this family does, the youngest child goes missing. And I'm trying to figure out how much I can say without, spoiling it. It basically follows the lives of the daughter that goes missing and one of the sons, the second youngest son, who kind of blames himself for his sister going missing. You kind of know how it's going to end from the beginning. You kind of know how things are going to connect. This book is more about the journey than the destination, and it was done really, really well. It was so beautifully written. The ending was so bittersweet. It made me tear up a couple of times. It was just absolutely perfect. I think I gave it 5 stars. It was really good. I would really recommend it if you like literary fiction. I don't typically like historical fiction. I think that's what it's considered, but it's one of the few historical fictions that I like. So, for whatever that's worth. So number 2 on the list is the only one that I actually have a physical copy of. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. This book, it took me a bit to get into it. The premise, basically, this journalist gets hired to solve like, what, 50-year-old crime? Yeah, over 40 years ago, this teenager went missing, and he's hired to solve it. It was really intense. This one, out of all the others you should look up trigger warnings for, this one especially. This one was intense. There were things that happened in it that really, really grossed me out, and I have a pretty strong stomach when it comes to things like that. Sexual violence. Sexual violence is really the big one. I can usually handle stuff like that pretty well. This one, I had to take breaks from. There are parts of it that are very upsetting. It was very good. I did kind of guess what was going on from the beginning, but it's also, you know, it's like almost a 20-year-old book by this point, I think. It was published in 2006, right? 2008, yeah. It's just, you know, you know the tropes at a certain point. You know how things are set up. So the way we got there, though, was really interesting and really well done. So if it sounds like something you'd be interested in, and if you can handle some of the content, I really recommend it. So, and then number 1 is nonfiction, which I rarely give nonfiction the number 1 spot. It is Let This Radicalize You by Kelly Hayes and Mariame Kaba. This book is basically all about activism and organizing, and really kind of the place it settles on is that there is nothing more radical or political right now than caring for each other and having relationships and having your neighbors back. And it was really nice. One of the things that really is sticking with me after reading, there's a lot in here. One of the things is just talking about hope as an active choice. Like, yes, there's a lot of doom and gloom in the world, just kind of in general. What if things do work out? What if there's this path forward? Like, hope as an active choice, not a feeling. That really resonated with me. So it was very good. You know, you're feeling overwhelmed by the world right now, especially if you live in America. Like, I'm assuming if you know what this fish means, then you are having a time of it. That one, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with the information this book has given me, but it definitely spoke to where I am right now with the state of my country and my state, especially. I'm in a red state. So those are all the books I read. I think I have 3 books left to reach my goal. One of them is Beauty is a Wound by Eka Kernawan. I'm not sure if that's how you say his name. And then this one, which I saved for the end of the year. I don't know why I did that. It's like 900 pages long. We're doing a reading vlog for this one, which will come out in a couple of weeks. So look forward to that, and please go watch it and give me attention for it, because that book is going to piss me off. I know it'll be good, and I've had it for a really long time, and I've really this year been trying to read a lot of the books on my shelf, but I also, dark academia, as just a genre, pisses me off. Donna Tartt is one of the only authors that I will let talk me into reading dark academia. Like, even one of my favorite authors is Leigh Bardugo, and I did not like Ninth House, and that's like her dark academia book. We'll see with this one. It's gonna piss me off, but hopefully in a funny way, which is why we're making a video about it. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you've read any of these books. Let me know if you have any books that you read in October or November that were really good. Really appreciate if you like this video, if you subscribe. We're almost to 50 subscribers. Like, one of you can bring me to my goal. So you can also follow me on my TikTok. You can follow me on my Fable. That'll be linked in the description. I have an Etsy shop that you can check out if you need holiday gifts. Hope you're staying warm. It's starting to get cold here. And I'll see you guys next time, next Wednesday.